Hi everybody, welcome to Module 1 of EDU 291. This announcement is going to be focused specifically on getting started into our content and how to navigate Module 1, and really it gives you an overview of what to expect each module, because I am all about consistency in this course, and so the way that I have the modules laid out is pretty much what you can expect every single module. As you can see, I have our modules locked, and that our upcoming modules locked. So right now you're only able to see Module 1, and that really is to help you stay focused on what is due this week and help you not get overwhelmed about upcoming things. As mentioned in my previous announcement, hopefully you had the chance to listen to that one about getting started in our course. If you want to take a look at what is coming due in future modules, that's why I have the assignment checklist up here so that you can refer to and see what might be coming due. All modules will open at least a week ahead of when the assignments become due. So you can always expect that a week ahead of time, the next module will open. So I don't just wait until the night before. I do give you that week time to look ahead if you're one of those people who likes to work ahead. I just don't want you to work too far ahead. Okay, so I am assuming that you are complete with all of your introduction activities, and we are ready to dive in. So the first thing that you always want to do at the start of a new module is to click on the Overview tab. Every single week of a module will have its own overview. So for example, Module 1 is going to be 2 weeks long, but week 1 our focus is on Introduction to Children's Literature, and week 2 is Selecting Children's Literature. You're certainly welcome to do all of those within the time frame that you want to during the module, but it is laid out that way. So the first thing you want to do is click on the Overview tab. And this tab is really helpful to kind of give you an idea of what you're doing this week as well as what's coming due and looking ahead. So you can see that our topic this week is Introduction to Children's Literature. You have 2 readings that are required for the week. The first is Introduction to Literature, which is part of our regular required reading for the course. And then we also have a PDF file called the Miller Book, and the title is Everybody is a Reader. It's an excellent article, and it will help you in completing your literacy autobiography. The 2 assignments that are due this week, you have a reading organizer on Introduction to Children's Literature, which I'll walk you through in a moment, as well as your literacy autobiography. Reading organizers can always be expected to be due the Tuesday of the module. So Tuesdays, you always have a reading organizer due. In future modules, you will have your reading commentary due on Thursday, but we have no reading commentary this week. So our only other assignment is our module assignment, which is the literacy autobiography. Also on this tab, I have a looking ahead tab. And looking ahead is letting you know that next week you're going to have your first reading commentary assignment. And that is an assignment that is going to ask you to attend the library. I know in my syllabus, I have very much mentioned the importance of getting a library card and becoming familiar with what library you need to that you plan to use during the semester. This is your opportunity to start flexing those muscles. Reading commentaries are typically every week. They will be due on Thursday. But I have created this handy dandy library book checklist to give you a overview of what's coming due. So I am derailing here, so forgive me. I'm talking about reading commentaries, but I know that you guys are going to click here, so I just want to explain. What this is just giving you a list of the types of books that you will need to check out for each reading commentary. It gives you the dates in which you'll be focusing on those books, and the purpose, and then over here, the type of book. So for example, next week, in second week of Module 1, from September 2nd to the 8th, your focus is going to be your favorite children's book. So you'd want to go to the library, or maybe your own child's library, or maybe your parents still have your favorite books at home, and pick out 2 of your favorite books as a child. If you cannot remember what your favorite book as a child was, that's fine. Think of what your favorite book to read to a child is, or talk to somebody about their favorite books. So just whatever your 2 favorite books are. And again, if you have children and they have favorite books, you can use those as well. But then going into the next reading commentary, the focus would be on Caldecott winners. So going forward, you can see all of the types of books that you are to check out do provide a link here and kind of give you an idea of what types of books these are. There's a lot of specific titles that you can look for. So I hope you will use this little sheet here to help you with your time management. I understand that you are all very, very busy and you may not have the time to hit the library every single week. So this was created to help you with your time management. Look ahead and see, okay, in the month of September, I'm going to need to check out 2 books per commentary. These are the types of books I'm going to need. I'm going to grab all my books for September. I highly recommend doing that. If you're not a think ahead person and you want to go week by week or maybe bi-weekly, certainly up to you, but I want to provide this to you just in case you have a lot on your plate and you need a little cheat sheet. Okay, so that's that. It is available to you every single week on these overview tabs. I'll always have this link to the checklist to help you in your time management. I hope you will use it. Okay, everybody, let's jump back. This is what that overview tab is like. Again, you will always want to click here to help you get started with the week. But let's take a look now at the individual assignments to help you see what's going on. So your required readings for Module 1. Once you've clicked on the Introduction tab and done through that, you can click on the module reading. And see, we call it M1 Reading, Introduction to Early Childhood, or excuse me, Introduction to Children's Literature. And it's all provided here for you, so you don't have to purchase a textbook. Okay, once you have completed your reading on Introduction to Children's Literature, you can either jump back to the module as I just did, or you can just use the next button and it will take you then to your module reading organizer. The reading organizer is just a simple form that allows you to reflect on what you have just read. You'll notice that as you get into further modules, they're always the same because I'm all about consistency. So it's just for you to derive out, pull out that content, pull out that meaning that was made, that you made of the reading and into that personal understanding. So you can just make a copy here and put it into a Word document and then upload that to Canvas. Once you've completed your reading organizer, you can jump back either using the next tab or previous tab and head on to the next assignment. The next assignment is your literacy autobiography. And as I mentioned at the start, you have an additional reading. Well, we like to affectionately refer to it as the Miller Chapter 2 reading, and it is embedded in the literacy autobiography assignment. It's not on the top where you found your original readings. So that can be confusing, so do make a note of that. This article though is just focused on this assignment, so I didn't want it to become confused and have you add that to the reading organizer because they're really 2 separate assignments. So your first step is to read the Chapter 2 article and then complete the template. The template is here. You will want to make a copy of this autobiography template and then make it into a Word document, or if you want to use a Google document, that's fine. If you choose to share the Google document with me, I do request that you make sure that it is, I am able to open it, that it is not set to private. So do make sure that you set your share settings so that I can read it. Or rather than, if you don't feel like using a Google document, you're certainly welcome to copy it here and paste it into a Word doc and submit it that way. So the literacy autobiography requires you to do the reading, and it's going to ask you, based on the types of readers identified in the article, what type of reader are you, and give examples to support your responses. This is one of my very favorite assignments. It's very, very personal, and I want to know about your personal reading journey. I understand that not all of you are coming into this course as avid readers. Some of you may have had terrible reading experiences in your younger years. Others of you have grown up with an incredible love of reading your whole entire life. I want to hear about that. So this gives you the opportunity to do so. When you create this copy, these boxes will grow with you as you type, whether you use a Google form or Google document or a Word document. So put all of your responses in each one of these boxes. And then once you get down to part B, this is where it gets kind of tricky. To further explore how you identify as a reader, choose 3 options from the list below to complete. Then report about each one. So I've got a bunch of options here. You only need to choose 3. So first one is think back and then describe a reading memory that you have as a child, or it could be as an adult with a young child. It's any reading memory that you have. You would write your choice and then you would write your response here. Decide on a storybook character that you relate to and describe the character and why you relate to him or her. So if you're a big fan of Junie B. Jones and you always related to her as a child, she would be a great person to identify, and you would put your response here. In your second box, or however you choose. The next choice is make a graph of the highs and lows of your reading experiences. From the early years to now, include at least events and their description on your graph. So if you started out as an avid reader as a child, you couldn't get enough books, and then suddenly you hit junior high and you hit a huge low in reading, and now you're in college and you love reading and you can't get enough of it, that might be a really cool chart to make. This is for my people who love to make charts. If making charts is not your favorite thing, then you don't have to choose this one. And then you're just going to write your response in here. Just kind of explain in words what your chart would look like. Then the final option would be interview someone you knew as a young reader. See what they have to say about what kind of reader you were and what you liked and disliked. So this might be a parent of yours, or a sister or brother, or a grandparent who maybe remembers what you were like as a child and what your response to reading was. So this section here is for you to write out your response here, explain it in these boxes, and then in part C, you are going to include kind of a visual artifact. So whatever you chose, so whether it be the reading memory or the book character or the highs and lows graph or the interview, you would then embed your artifacts. So a reading memory might be a picture of something that represents your memory. Maybe you love to lay on your favorite pillow and your favorite blankie. Maybe you have a picture of that. The storybook character of who you strongly relate. That could be a picture that you grab off the internet or a picture of a book. So if you love Junie B, it could be her face. An interview with someone that you knew as a child describing you. It could be a picture of you with that person that you interviewed. Or a PDF of their interview responses. Just a photo of you and mom would be fine. And if you loved making the graph, this is where you get to include a copy of what that graph looks like. It could be a picture of your graph or a PDF. So in total, what needs to be submitted to Canvas is this template that you have filled out, part A and part B. And then you will also submit your artifacts. So if it's photographs of your mom and you, and a picture of Junie B. Jones and your graph, then you could put that all maybe on one Word document or one Google document if you want to make it like a collage, or you could submit 3 separate photos to Canvas, however that works for you. But just don't forget to include those photos of your artifact, because that is part C. Part B is explaining those artifacts, and then part C is having that visual picture of them. If you have any questions about this assignment, feel free to email me through Canvas and I'll be happy to explain it in more detail. But this is a really fun one. It's one of my favorites. Okay, everybody. Well, I didn't have a chance to go through next week, which is week 2 of Module 1. I will post a separate announcement on that. But I wish you all a wonderful first week in EDU 291, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.